You know that feeling when you really want a palette badly, but you also know you don't need it? That is my dilemma right now, and I'd like to share with you how it is that I am talking myself out of it. If you want to know more about the palette and what my alternatives are, then stick around. Okay, let's get this out of the way. First off, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content on this channel in general, please consider subscribing. That would be awesome. Alright guys, as I mentioned, I am having a problem. And the problem that I'm having is that forever and a day, I have loved gold eyeshadow. And one palette creator had the nerve to come out with a gold palette. That is the Natasha Denona gold palette. 15 shades, 13 of which you could argue, well not really, 12 you could argue are gold in color. There are a couple of teal/blues, and there's one that is kind of a transformer shade that's more on toward the white glittery side. Yeah, I have looked at this palette, I have drooled over this palette, even though it hasn't been around for a very long time. When I got rid of a palette that I had for over a decade, I had the most trouble getting rid of the gold shades. It was really tough. And I finally did, realizing that, I just need to let it go. I have one shade left, which is green. And gold has just been the shades I use the most, the shades I'm more drawn to, and hence I did a bit of a gold look today. So I'm looking at this palette, just drooling and drooling and drooling, and thinking, wait a minute. What do you have in your collection already when it comes to gold shades? I'll show you the most obvious ones first, but I just want you to get a feel for my thought process on, and also my overwhelm by the time I was done, to say, Hélène, if you want to do a gold look, you got your own back. You can, and you can do it in a plethora of different ways. So I'll show you the ones that are more obvious, and then we'll get into those that are more here, there, and everywhere, but that I still have in my collection. So let's take a look. Let's take care of a few obvious ones. And oh, by the way, for the occasion, I have nice gold fleck fingers. The first one that I have here is a Too Faced glitter. See if I can open it up without making a mess and show you. I don't know if I can. I can't tilt it very much, but there you go. I mean, there's no question. It is very, very gold. And I have the gold glitter. I have no excuse not to wear it. So definitely a gold shade. I also have the gold pigment from Pat McGrath, and this is irrefutably a stunning gold. Just swatch it for you. I mean, there's nothing that is not gold about this specific pigment. I also have, what's it called in this case, Gold 005 Cream from Pat McGrath. This one makes me think a bit more of an antique gold. And here it is. So I think I'll build it up just one more for the swatch here. Beside the pigment doesn't look as like as much, does it? But it is very pretty in person. If you want to see more about that Metamorphosis gold set that I have, I'll just put a video up so that you can go and take a look at that unboxing. It might surprise you. Then I went to another palette that seemed obvious to me, and that is the Pat McGrath. Seemed to make sense. I went for the pigments first, and then I decided to look at this palette. And in this palette, there are a few. I hate this plastic business. See, I already have it backwards. Now this one has 3 shades that might be similar to what is in the Natasha Denona. So there is Celestial, Supernova, and Provocatrix. Now there's Provocatrix here at the end. A duochromy look to it, doesn't it? Has a shift. So it's not quite gold, but it definitely has, you know, potential to be paired up with a gold or something else. Putting back the stupid plastic, and we're going to move on. But definitely this palette has some potential for 3 of the shades, because if you are familiar with the Natasha Denona, it has those 2 kind of bluish teal colors, and so Supernova in there would definitely go. Since we're kind of in the glitter, I'm just going to go over a couple of things. Now, I don't have a whole lot, but I do have the Heavy Metals in Midnight Cowboy from Urban Decay, and that one would certainly give you a nice pop of glitter if you wanted to do it as a topper. So here it is right there. And I also have, you know, I have a silver and 2 golds from Sephora liners. Like, it's not like I'm lacking liners here. And that one looks kind of like a dupe for the Urban Decay. Not quite as pigmented, as in not as much sparkles per inch, so to speak, but it's still pretty sparkly. And the silver, obviously it's not a gold, but I thought I'd show you. And this one is a waterproof, but I don't remember what this one swatches like. Oh, okay, so this one is a lot more, swatches somewhere else because you can't even see it there. It's very, very fine. So this one would really act, I think, could act as a topper. So it's right here. It's really hard to see, but it's very, very fine shimmers. So anyway, it's from coarse to medium to fine shimmer. I mean, I really have everything I need here. Like, I don't have a problem. And if that weren't enough, I have 4 Stilas that fit the bill. I have Jezebel, which is a shimmer and glow, and then all of these are glitter and glow. Smoky Storm, Diamond Dust, and Kitten Karma. Now, I know that they're not all gold, but if I'm really trying to get a heavy-duty metallic look, I can certainly use those. And for that pop of teal in the Natasha Denona palette, I also have a Moon Dust in Zodiac, which has somewhat of a teal feel to it that I can definitely put with a gold, right? Like, I'm not lacking in the tools, the means to unleash that inspiration that the Denona palette seems to offer. Okay, we've gone through a lot of stuff that sparkles, but I just want to show you a few more. I do have individual shadows from Urban Decay that would also do nicely. I have Smog, Baked, and Half Baked, which is the most gold out of the bunch, so I'll swatch that one. Half Baked is available in the Naked and the Naked 2. So there's Half Baked. I hope you can see it. And I do have Half Baked on my inner lid today. Now, for some more crazy gold colors, you can find them also in unexpected places. This is a Physicians Formula palette. And I won't swatch these, but I think you will agree with me that there are some pretty wild gold colors. I did swatch them earlier today, and 3 of them would definitely fit the bill. They are more glittery though, so I would consider them more like the Too Faced glitter as far as an option, but there is definitely a very nice kind of bronzy color, one that makes me think of Gilded Ganache from Too Faced. Some very pretty colors for a real pop of metallic on your lid. Now, I mentioned the Half Baked in Naked and Naked 2, so I'm just going to show you, where is it now? The Half Baked in the Naked original palette. And that is the palette that I have on my eye today. There is only one shade that is on my eye that is not from the original Naked, and I will show you once we get to it. So why not take care of that shade right now, actually. Another one that is pretty fantastic for inspiration, for replicating some of the looks like the Natasha Denona palette is the Semi-Precious, pardon me, from ColourPop. And when I think of this palette, there are 3 shades that I think would fit the bill, possibly even 4. So there is Celestial right here, which is the lightest shade. This one, there is one of the Natasha Denona shades that has a gold and green feel, and this one has a definite green feel, and that is Bashful. Next up, we have these 2 at the end. The top one is Up and Atom. Oh, pardon me. The top one is Up and Atom, and then the bottom one is The Game, and they are quite gold. So I'll just swatch the Game, and I think the greeny shift one called Bashful, because it did remind me a lot of the Natasha Denona palette. And that second one, so Bashful, is what I have right on my center lid. So these are the 2 right on my wrist. They have a nice color to them. And definitely, I would say, in the gold family. I don't think there would be an argument there. And this was a limited edition for last year at holiday, but ColourPop is a very affordable brand, especially if you live in the US and you don't have to pay duties. So very, very nice. I mean, this palette has really not disappointed. I use it on a regular basis and really like it. Couple of honorable mentions. I wanted to mention the Tartiste Pro To Go. I won't swatch these, but I just want to show you. There were a couple of shades in here. So this one down here, I think it's called Hype. Yeah, Hype and Boss. You can do a very nice gold look using these shades. So the mattes along with those 2, I think they're great. Keeping on with the Tarte, I would also say that there are a few shades in the Tartelette and Bloom, namely this one and this one, that can certainly be used for a gold look. And so that was Funny Girl and Firecracker. Possibly Rocker, but that's a stretch. And those are the 3 that are the shimmer shades in this palette. And I also looked at Tartelette Toasted, but I didn't think that the colors were all that suitable for a gold look, so I won't bring that one out, although it does have some shimmers. I also have a mini Natasha Denona palette. Stop blinding you here. And it is the Aries from last year, last holiday. And I'm about to crack into this palette in the next 2 weeks from now, when I start my holiday palette brand new focus. But I do want to swatch a couple, and I have never swatched these. This is so stupid. Here I want another Natasha Denona palette, and I haven't even used that one. It's shameful. For some reason, and I say it in the holiday palette preview video that's going to come out early December, that for some reason, this palette intimidated me, and I think it's because of the blue. They're not swatching that great. Let's try it again. The shimmers might need a glitter glue or something. Not the best place, but I did swatch them right here. So very much a metallic look, but I didn't want to use them until I get to that holiday palette view. But there's no question that they are metallic in nature, very shimmery, and I think that they would do a good job. I'm looking forward to playing with that. And really, I should not be buying another Natasha Denona palette if I'm not digging into this one. That would really be shameful. So, just reinforces my view here. Another palette, actually one of the palettes I thought of, or sets of palettes that I thought of right away when I thought, I have some metallics, like, give your head a shake, girl, is the Estee Edit holiday palettes from, I think they were from last year. There's this beautiful color right here, There's also a color that could compete with this teal idea from the Natasha Denona palette. So those are two great ones. And then from the eye/face palette, there are also a few other contenders in here for a nice gold look. And they swatch beautifully. Actually, you know what? I'll start swatching on the other hand. I have to show you these. They're beautiful. So the top three are from the white palette, the face and eye palette, and then the bottom two are from the eye palette. The grimy eye palette is what it's called, I think. Just so I don't make a liar out of myself. It's called, yeah, no, sorry, not grimy. I thought something was wrong. It's the gritty eye palette. Definitely not grimy. Oops. We're getting there, only a handful to go. Hang in there, hang in there. Another one I'm thinking of, which of course it's brand new, so it is top of mind, is the Provocateur palette. These two shades definitely made me think of metallic. One seems to be a topper, and the other one is very much a shade. So these two at the bottom of my wrist here. Wrists are really not a great place to swatch, but you get an idea. So that I will check out and try as well. So I think you can tell by the number of swatches here that I have so many gold colors to go with that, again, it's shameful that I'm looking to add to my collection when I have so much to play with that I haven't paired up and tried. This next one is a Jean-Michel Basquiat from Urban Decay. And there are a few colors in here. These two, Sucker Punch and Influence, and then down here, Crown as well. Crown is more of a yellow, but I think it still has potential as a maybe a yellow with a shimmer topper, but I think it's still a contender there. And when it comes to yellows and teals, one cannot omit the subculture. It certainly is one of the first ones I thought here. And what I did was I mixed the Untamed and Axis together, and I think that I got really close to what I seem to have seen in that Natasha Denona gold palette. So I'm just going to try to recreate that right now. I think I used too much of the Axis here, but I really feel like, oh, that's a terrible place. I really feel like that is very close to the color in that Natasha Denona palette. So I can use those two to kind of deepen in to the outer V and do something pretty neat. So food for thought on that one. And a few of the mattes actually made me think of the Denona palette. So these three are somewhat similar as well to what is in that palette other than the green shade. 3 more palettes to go and then some very, very quick pencils. The next one over was the Ciate London, and that is the volume 2 with Chloe Murillo. And I thought right away of this palette for a few reasons. There's a color gold, I remember that much. There's also, is that right here? Halo, right here. A very light, kind of a gold color. There's also rose gold and copper, and there was one other one. Some very nice mattes. And then the Soul, that's a stretch, but still, I did think of Soul as far as a green to go with the gold. And there's even platinum in here too, but obviously platinum is not gold. Anyway, there are definitely options in this palette. And if those all were not enough, let's go into the Jaclyn Hill palette. And there are a number of them. I'm going to just focus on 2. There's this one right here called Queen. Makes sense, right? And then this, can't see. This one, SBN, I think. No, is it? That was Queen. This one is, yeah, SBN. I was right. And then finally, right down here, Meeks. So definitely some outer V around the lash line kind of shades that would really complement a gold look. And I didn't even get into the mattes, because you could also argue that there were a lot of mattes in there that would go well to help support a shimmery, glittery gold look. And then I also have the 39A Dare to Create. And when I looked at this palette, I'm not going to look for the names. I don't like the plastic sheeting stuff. But I did notice this one down here and this one right here as well. They're both quite, they have quite a hit. I'm just going to swatch 3 of them for you. The glittery, shimmery shades from Morphe, the new formula, I have to say, they're really nice. Like, I just swatched and my fingers are just beautiful with these colors. And unfortunately, they're on my knuckles. So here are the 3 colors and my very dry skin. But at least you have an idea. I don't want to keep cleaning my hand. And I should have just swatched down here, but okay, last but not least, I just want to sneak in a few pencils. If you're curious about the pencils I used today, these are it. And I wanted to specifically mention one of them because it's Midnight Cowboy and it has a definite metallic feel to it. So horrible place to swatch, but I've got it swatched right by the gold here. So it's got a definite metallic feel to it, and I put it in the lower waterline. And then also, just if you're curious, I'll just swatch this one, which I think it's, oh yeah, Whiskey. Just a nice chocolate brown. But yeah, those are the couple I used. But I just brought them up because I'm also talking about pencils. If you are looking for some metallic pencils, Sephora has a couple of waterproof ones in gold and silver. So here are the gold and silver right there. So very, very metallic. And I wouldn't be surprised that if I want a gold look that I can put the gold on the inner lid and just kind of move it around a little bit before it sets, and that it probably would be at least a good base, if not just enough on its own. Lots and lots of options. The whole point is that I have a bunch. If I look back at all of the palettes I mentioned, 19 palettes that I can consider to have gold or gold supporting shades that I can use to basically recreate what the Natasha Denona gold palette could have done. And I mean, I have a bunch of great usable shades. I mean, I probably can do a full recreation and dupe it out. I didn't go to that level. I just needed today to talk me off the ledge from spending 162 Canadian. Of course, there's the 20% discount, but it's still ridiculous. 130 bucks on a palette that I clearly do not need. So that's what I did today. Talked myself off the ledge, took it out of my cart, and I'm ready to move on. Thanks for spending some time with me today, talking myself out of this palette a second time for good measure. I hope you found it useful. I hope you choose to shop your stash for palettes that are of interest to you, just to see if you really need the palette or if you can recreate the look yourself. I'm not saying don't buy the palette. I'm saying if you have in your gut that feeling that you really shouldn't get it, it's not a bad thing to just validate it with real life examples of the fact your gut is right and it's okay to follow it and just not get it. Now, of course, there are some times where the color story of a palette speaks to you and you like to have it all in one spot and you want to have all of the options at the ready, I get that. Certainly why I get certain palettes. But for the gold palette, I felt like it was just more of a collection of a whole bunch of golds all together. And I thought, you know, if my mind can tell myself, oh, you know, this is not a bad one for golds. There's 2 or 3 there, 2 or 3 there, a bronzy, coppery shade. I think that I can have a lot of fun and essentially achieve the same thing as if I bought the palette. So I'm really, really happy with having taken the time to do this exercise today, because I could have spent a lot of money that really I've already spent. I have the majority of the shades that I need. Now, well, need. Now, the only thing is it the same quality as Natasha Denona? Is there something that I don't know? Sure. I'm not convinced yet that the higher end products really show that differently on the eye. I think it has to do with application, color selection, and a skill of the makeup applier. But I mean, time will tell. I'll end up with higher end palettes over time, I'm sure. Like I showed you, I've got a couple Pat McGrath products, but I really just didn't think that a craving for gold justified the palette. And if you have the Natasha Denona gold palette and you love it, power to you. I am happy for you, sincerely happy for you. It just, I can see, does not make sense for me, and I'm just glad that I was able to solidify that for myself. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Long one, but a good one, I hope. I do look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.